the T-WiSE crew are continuing their day at the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics. Kevin and Colin get a chance to chat with Greg Dick, the Director of Educational Outreach. This Week in Science and Education is presented in association with the Science Coordinators and Consultants Association of Ontario. Visit their website at sccao.ca.
This Week in Science and Education is brought to you in part by the University of Western Ontario, www.uwo.ca. We thank them for their support. This Week in Science and Education is also brought to you by Laurentian University. Check out Laurentian at laurentian.ca. We thank them for their support.
All right, hi there everybody. We're here with Greg Dick from the Perimeter Institute, and we're going to talk about some of the things that the Perimeter Institute does with the public, with teachers, and with students in terms of outreach, because you're the outreach coordinator. What's your official title?
So, Greg Dick. I'm the Director of Educational Outreach here at Perimeter, and my team is responsible for, well, really we do the most fun parts of what goes on here.
Well, I don't know. When you talk to the physicists, they have a lot of fun.
They sure do. You know what? It's a pretty special place. So there's world-class research that goes on here. And then right at the very beginning, in the inception of the Institute, they also included outreach and training. Right. That was part of the mandate right from the start. Right. So our team is responsible for that, that component, the outreach component. Okay. We deal with the general public, the students and teachers, and we try to push everything online.
Okay, so you have a lot of different levels that you deal with. Let's talk about the general public then. What sort of things do you offer, do you promote, do you do with if I was just walking in off the street?
Our flagship general public piece is a public lecture series. We have a local high school, WCI, which has a 600-seat theater, and we bring in guest speakers like Brian Greene and really top-level physicists, Nobel laureates, and I'm telling you, it's a physics lecture. Yeah. They sell out, the 600-seat theater sells out in 5 minutes.
How often do you do these public lectures?
There's 8 of them a year, the first Wednesday of every month, and it's an incredible thirst that is out there for science, and all you have to do is open the door and provide some good speakers, and they come running.
We're wandering around here, and we sort of stopped. We stopped at this particular juncture, I guess, because we were talking about the way the building was designed and the philosophy behind kind of how people move through the building. And it's really designed. You can hear there's noise going on around here. The whole building is designed, as you were saying, to promote collaboration between people. So can you maybe tell us about how it all works here?
Absolutely. Science is a very collaborative endeavor. It's so often we think of scientists in lab coats or in front of computers locked away. Yeah. But in fact, it's all about working with other people and sharing ideas. The building here is designed, and you can sort of look down this escape.
Fascinating.
You can see across the hall, you can see there's glass everywhere. You can't go from A to B without bumping into a lot of other people, and that's by design. Truly, Neil Turok, the director of the Institute, said that his ideal day for a researcher would be to show up and not get past the bistro, which is a big the cafeteria, and they would literally get stuck there, have their coffee, start talking about physics, and then the day would be over. Because it's all about sharing ideas, and it's the power of that sharing that really this whole institute is designed around.
And I did notice that. It actually struck me when we walked in past the gate, about the front desk there, that the cafeteria, the bistro, was just teeming with people, and there was noise, and I went, this is cool, that's what's going on. And as we stand here now, like you mentioned, there's glass everywhere, and you can see people coming and going. And I'm thinking, as someone who walks through here, go, oh, I need to talk to that person, and I just saw him, I have a question for him, or whatever. It's really a fascinating place to think about collaboration by design of the building to get people together. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And the other part of that, so the building is designed for collaboration. The next part is we have young postdocs and new PhD students coming through here as guests all the time. That's apparently, as a theoretical physicist, your best work is done before the age of 24. So that's a high bar to reach. But that's what Newton did. So the idea to bring a lot of good, young, new thinking ideas through, so that you're really there's no geographic boundaries, there's no political boundaries in science. It's a matter of sharing the ideas that govern our universe.
Now,
and that's what it's all
speaking
about.
of that, I think I know the answer, but where do all of these young physicists come from? I mean, there can't be that many in Waterloo, for example, that they all come here. So where do they all come from?
It is truly international. Truly international. If you sit at lunch at a table, there will be 4 or 5 continents represented with only 5 people there.
Only 5 people.
It is truly a global endeavor, and it couldn't be more exciting because of that. Even the languages you hear around the table, it's amazing.
All speaking physics and math. Awesome. Well, let's keep wandering around and see what else we can find.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, so this is one of those interaction areas.
Okay.
And if you look, if we come over to the glass, come on over to the glass.
Wow.
If you look straight on, you can write on it. If you look at an angle, it's see-through.
I totally noticed that. I walked down and I thought that was foggy, but it's not. It's foggy here. And so, and you see there's some markers here. So researchers will come in as they're hashing out things, grab a marker, and start writing on the window.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's the process. Everybody always asks, well, if I erase it or if I change a number, is that going to hurt something?
Right.
Not at all.
No.
This is their thinking.
This is scribbling.
This is the real process in action.
Right.
And it's alive and vibrant, and then when they're gone, it doesn't, whether it stays or goes, it doesn't matter.
If it's important, they take it with them, they take a picture of it, or they write it down somewhere else. It's all in their heads.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Awesome.
Well, let's sit down.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the outreach programs you do for school kids and for teachers, because those are really cool as well.
Absolutely. So it's a multifaceted program as well. We have a Physica Fantastica speaking series, where one of our star outreach scientists go out to schools or in the city, and they give presentation, they give talks, just connecting the big science ideas to the world around them.
Is that mostly local? Do they?
That's national.
That's national. So it's everywhere across the country.
Across the country.
Okay.
That's across the country, and then we have a Go Physics program, which is a one-day physics camp, again across the country, where our team goes out and gets kids who are keen, not necessarily the highest marks, but those kids that really like to ask questions and want to dig a little deeper. They have an opportunity to spend a day, sometimes a Saturday, just learning about what modern physics has to offer, and sort of start digging into the deeper physics.
So I'm thinking, lecture series and whatnot, you guys are going out across the country. I'm a science teacher. How do I get you guys in my school? Like, what do I have to, what's the process for starting this whole thing?
Well, and then then the opportunity to get our resources into school is first we have resources.
Sure.
So we have videos and class sets. So for teachers, there, and you just log online, it's free. These kits are free to all teachers.
What's the website?
So our website is www.perimeterinstitute.ca.
Easy?
Easy to find, or just Google it, it'll show up. And the kits, so there's one on dark matter, there's one on quantum mechanics, there's a new one coming out on particle physics, there's GPS, there's a suite of them. They're also, some of them have been translated into French, and the rest will follow. That kids can use, the worksheets that come along with it, the workbook that comes along with it, it can be really fast, just multiple choice, discussion questions, but there's also hands-on activities and demos and some authentic learning that can happen. So that full range is there. We have a teacher network that will help share those resources across the country, but like I said before, teachers can just log on and get it for free. But then the next step, and actually similar to what you do, is we want to be able to share with students after. Maybe they've watched the video, they've done some work, and then they have some questions, and they want to talk to a researcher. So then through a webinar, we hope to be able to connect with classes. So that's sort of that's the next step, and following this excellent model that you guys have.
Awesome. Now the other thing that I do know that you guys do, maybe talk briefly about, is the was Einstein Plus, the teacher program for teachers to learn about this?
Absolutely. There's 2 camps. So there's one for teachers and one for students. The Einstein Plus is the teachers camp. It's in the summer, where you come for a week, all expenses paid, and it is hard-working 1 week of physics, but you get to talk to the researchers, you get to see the latest thinking about the fundamental questions of our universe, and we get to dive deep into all of our resources and really get a sense of what we have to offer. But also we have those teachers that come help tell us what to do next. So it's teachers know best what they need in their classroom, and that's our strength. We have that team of teachers and the alumni from Einstein Plus to help us develop new resources.
And that's part of the network that you said you have a network of teachers.
And that's part of the network.
So the Einstein Plus teachers then become your network, so it's constantly growing and feeding back into each other. Excellent.
And then there's also a camp for students. So for really keen physics kids who just really want to get into theoretical physics, it's called the International Summer School for Young Physicists. It's 40 kids, 20 Canadian, 20 international, truly from around the world, and half girls, half boys, and it's 2 weeks in the summer. And it is a deep dive into theoretical physics. They will wrestle with concepts and even some of the math that they wouldn't otherwise see until second or third year. So and they get to go to Snow Lab in Sudbury, which is 2 kilometers underground.
We were there last year, right around a little over a year ago. We went to Snow Lab and went down in.
Unbelievable.
Amazing, right? It's just mind blowing. And that's the physics in action. It's theory meeting experiment. That's an experiment of experiments.
Which it's perfect, and then that experiment, that data comes back, and it shapes what the researchers do here. It's a continuous circle, so it's lovely.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
So Colin, what an amazing day we've had here today at the Perimeter Institute.
Oh, and the sun's coming out as we speak, so
perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
So a lot of take-homes, a lot of takeaways
no
from today. What were some of your highlights?
Well, you know what, the sheer volume of different programs that they run at Perimeter for students and teachers and the public. I was aware of some of them. I wasn't aware of all of them. I don't know if you could have been aware of all of them because there's so many of them. But just amazing stuff and so many different places for teachers to start, places for kids to start, places for parents to start. Right? So no matter who you are and no matter what level of interest you have, there's something either at Perimeter or on their website that you can dig into and start to learn more about this stuff. And I mean, it's just fascinating, the inner workings of the universe. Right? It's really cool.
Well, for me it was, and I appreciate that. I love where you're taking that. But for me it was, so often in our society we highlight the accomplishments of athletes. So our heroes are the sports franchises and things. And the Perimeter Institute is really one of those places, one of the first places I've ever been, where they are really champion the research and the collaboration that takes place here. These are the heroes of our society, if you ask me, and that's what I really take away here today. They take that very seriously, and it's very obvious.
Well, it's the rock stars, and it's the Super Bowl, and it's everything all together in one building. You look at what people come here, what research comes out of here. This is, and we were speaking with Greg earlier, this is the focal point on the planet for theoretical physics, and it's just awesome to be here.
Absolutely. PerimeterInstitute.ca. You gonna write that up?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I'm going to write on this awesome.
So Colin's writing that up there on behalf of Colin Jagoe. This is Kevin Cougler from Virtual Research on Call. I do want to thank very much the folks at Perimeter Institute for allowing us to come in today, spend half a day with them, and really get to understand and relate to the wonderful work that's being done here. Thanks so much, everybody, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. See you again soon.